Have you ever wondered what might happen if you simply let go? If you let the night carry you beyond the ceiling of your room, past the weight of your thoughts, and into the quiet rhythm of the stars? Tonight, you are invited on a journey that asks for nothing except your breath and your willingness to drift. You will visit planets that do not appear on maps, only in dreams. Gardens that hum with light. Oceans that remember your name. Forests where giants sleep, and mirrors that reflect the gentlest parts of you. This is not a story to follow. It is a voyage to feel. So lie down, get comfortable, and let your mind soften as the ship begins to rise and the sky begins to open. And if, somewhere along the way, this journey brings you peace, consider subscribing to Mystical Sleep Tale. Many pass through these stars without leaving a trace. But when you subscribe, you leave a light on for the next traveler. Now, close your eyes. The stars are waiting. You find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet observatory, perched high above the clouds, where the sky is the color of melting lavender and the air smells faintly of old paper, candle wax, and forgotten. The kind of forgotten that lives in dreams. A silver staircase spirals upward through mist, and without knowing why, you begin to climb. Each step is slow, soundless. Each breath you take feels lighter than the last. At the top of the stairs, resting in a shallow cradle of light, floats a vessel. Not a spaceship, no, a starship. Its surface shimmers like moonlit seashells. Its windows are shaped like sighs, and its doorway, already open, seems to be waiting just for you. You step inside. The floor is soft beneath your feet, like woven starlight. The walls breathe gently, glowing with a pulse that matches your own heartbeat. And somewhere ahead, just beyond you, a voice begins to speak, not aloud, but within, calm. Ancient, patient. Welcome, traveler. You have nothing to carry here, nothing to remember, nothing to prove. Just breathe, let go. You settle into a long reclining chair made of cloud and light. As soon as you close your eyes, the ship begins to move, not with noise or speed, but with grace. You feel yourself lifting, leaving, floating beyond the edge of waking. Outside the window, stars begin to stretch, blurring into soft rivers of light. The sky folds in on itself like silk. You take a deep breath and let it out slowly. This is the beginning of a journey not across space, but through sleep, through stillness, through planets where the laws of thought and gravity dissolve like dew. And as the ship moves through the veil of silence, you feel yourself softening, sinking. Everything you once held tightly begins to drift away, like petals on water. And you, dear dreamer, you are finally ready to voyage between the stars. Outside your window, the sky no longer holds shape. The stars have become soft ribbons of color, folding into one another like waves of silk drifting on a breath. There is no up or down here, only quiet, endless velvet quiet. Inside the ship, time stretches. Your thoughts, once busy, begin to float gently toward the edges of your mind, like lanterns drifting out to sea. They no longer press. They no longer matter. You feel yourself dissolving, not disappearing, but expanding, becoming part of the slow, humming silence that surrounds you. The voice from before returns, softer now, like the whisper of a lullaby sung far away. You've crossed the boundary of noise. Now you are entering the place where sound was born, and then fell asleep. The ship passes through a curtain of golden mist. It parts without sound, without resistance. Just beyond it, the space between stars opens like a sigh, and something deep within you, something you didn't know was waiting, releases its grip. No tension, No holding, just breath. Thou knew the cosmos hum, not in notes or words, but in something deeper, the hush of wind through pine, the heartbeat of a sleeping cat, the silence of two hands touching in the dark. You are not flying anymore. You are drifting, floating, becoming a quiet shape among the constellations. The ship moves slower now, as if it too were falling asleep. Ahead lies the first planet, a world made not of ground or sky, but of color and light. It draws near, and as your eyes begin to close just a little more, you feel the gentle pull of something beautiful waiting just below the clouds. The ship slows, not with friction, not with sound, but like a sigh that drifts to stillness. Outside, a planet begins to form, soft at first, like watercolor on wet paper, then clearer, fuller. It is glowing, golden, and wrapped in clouds that shimmer like silk being stirred by breath. This is Aurialis, the garden of light and air. You step out of the starship onto a path made of mist. It holds your weight like memory, gentle, familiar, forgiving. Everywhere around you, glowing grasses ripple in slow motion, singing in tones too delicate to name. Their song hums in harmony with your breath, as if the planet is tuning itself to you. Lanterns float lazily above the fields, not tied to anything, just drifting through the golden atmosphere. Each one contains a flicker of light, not from flame, but from someone's first dream. The sky here is not blue, it is pale gold, blended with the softest lavender, like morning stretching its arms, but never fully waking. As you walk, the air tastes of citrus and warm honey. Not sweet, but by breath, your body relaxes a little more. The air itself seems to listen. In the distance, silver-leafed trees arch overhead like cathedral windows. They sway without wind, shedding petals that drift downward, each one glowing faintly, before melting into the soft mist beneath your feet. You lie down in the grass, and the field responds by warming beneath your back. Above you, the lanterns drift into new patterns, constellations you've never seen, but somehow remember. Your eyelids flutter, and just before they close completely, a single petal lands on your chest and sings a note so soft, so complete, that your body forgets what it was ever carrying. The ship waits for you in silence, but it does not rush. Here, there is only rest, only golden air, only peace. The ship lifts quietly from Aurialis, carrying you deeper into the stars. You do not notice the moment you fall asleep, or the moment you wake again, because here, sleep and waking are part of the same breath. Ahead, a soft blue world turns slowly beneath the sky the color of faded lilac. This is Thalora, the ocean without shore. There's no land here, only water, stretching endlessly in every direction, calm glass, glowing with gentle pulses of silver light. The surface ripples in rhythm with your breath. The ship does not land. It glides silently just above the water, and you, weightless now, step into the air and float down until your body rests softly on the surface of the ocean. It holds you, perfectly, as though it remembers the shape of every dream you've ever let slip away. The water is warm, not from sunlight, but from memory. It hums quietly beneath you, a lullaby for the bones. Above, 3 moons drift across the sky, each one slower than the last. Their light folds into the water and melts into your skin. You do not need to move. The ocean moves for you, gently rocking, gently spinning, gently pulling away the last thoughts you forgot to let go of. In the distance, you hear it, a sound so low and wide it almost isn't a sound at all. It's the song of a whale, not of flesh, but of stars. Its body glimmers through the water far below, its voice like a slow wave through your chest. It sings not of sorrow, not of joy, but of stillness, of being held. You float for a long while, breathing, not thinking, drifting, not dreaming, until the sky above you begins to darken to velvet blue, and the stars return one by one. The ship returns, a quiet shell of light, and carries you once more into the sleeping dark between planets. You are even softer now, even slower, even safer. As the ship carries you away from Thalora, the light of the ocean fades slowly behind you. You do not feel sadness, only the deep, quiet peace of something complete. Ahead, another world appears, not glowing, not pulsing, but still. This is Soleneth, the city of echoing marble. From above, it looks like a labyrinth of pale stone, towers without roofs, staircases that go nowhere, archways that lead to empty courtyards bathed in starlight. The ship descends into the heart of it, and you step out into soft dust and silence. No wind. No music, only the sound of your footsteps, light, slow, echoing back to you like whispers through a cathedral built for sleep. The stone beneath your feet is smooth and cool. It reflects the sky in gentle silver hue, and each step leaves behind a brief trail of light, fading slowly, as if the city is recording your presence, but not clinging to it. You walk with no direction, just ease. Round you, tall columns reach up toward invisible ceilings, and lanterns glow from nowhere, floating just above the marble railings. In one corner of the city, you find a shallow reflecting pool. Its surface is perfectly still. When you lean over it, you see not your face, but a version of yourself from long ago, quiet, small, waiting to be remembered. The pool doesn't ask you to remember. It simply shows, and then slowly fades, letting the image dissolve like a dream at dawn. You sit for a while in the courtyard. No clock ticks here. No voice intrudes. Only space for your thoughts to stretch, for your breath to slow, for your heart to whisper what it needs. Above, a slow comet passes across the black velvet sky. You don't need to make a wish. Soleneth is the wish. You stand. The city echoes your final step as you return to the ship, but softer now, like a secret only the stars will remember. You are lighter than before, and sleepier still. The ship glides quietly through a sky dusted with pale stars, and soon, the glow of stone gives way to the shimmer of leaves, silver, long, and slow as sight. This is Virenai, the forest of sleeping giants. From above, the planet looks like a single forest, stretching across the entire world like a soft woven blanket. There are no cities, no roads, no light but moonlight. You descend gently through tall canopies. The trees do not sway. They do not rustle. They simply exist, still, ancient, shimmering like dreams spun from silver thread. As you step onto the forest floor, a soft layer of glowing moss welcomes your feet. It feels warm, familiar. And the air is cool and thick, like the inside of a memory you don't quite remember. Everywhere around you, trees rise up, their trunks wider than houses. Within each one sleeps a giant. You do not see them, not fully, but you feel them, breathing, dreaming. Somewhere deep inside each tree, a great being sleeps, curled gently in thought, wrapped in time. They do not need to wake. Their purpose is to hold the slowness of the world. As you walk deeper into the forest, silver leaves fall round you, but not fast. They fall in slow motion, like feathers through honeyed light. You reach out to catch one, and when your fingers touch it, it dissolves into warmth, a warmth that travels up your arm and rests softly at the center of your chest. You find a place to sit, beneath a tree so tall it seems to hold up the sky. You rest your back against its bark, which is warm like sleeping skin, and hums faintly with dreams. You close your eyes, and for a little while, you don't feel like a visitor. You feel like part of the forest, a quiet being among other quiet beings. Breathing, not holding, remembering how to simply be. When you return to the ship, your steps are slower. You do not speak, but the forest leaves something with you, a hush deeper than silence. The giants keep dreaming, and so do you. The ship rises above the silver treetops of Virenai, carrying you silently once more into the cradle of stars. The forest fades into mist behind you, and ahead, suspended in the black sky like a frozen halo, you see it. A great ring, not a planet, not a moon, but a gentle orbit of floating mirrors, turning slowly around a soft pulse of blue light. This is Lume, the ring of whispering mirrors. The ship enters the ring with no resistance. It simply drifts forward, and the mirrors, sensing your presence, begin to move, not closer. Just nearer to awareness, each mirror is different. Some are clear, smooth, and still. Others ripple like water. Some glow softly in rose or violet or silver. They reflect not your face, but fragments of your sleeping self, the part of you that dreams without fear, that hopes without reason, that rests without guilt. You float between them, weightless, not timeless. And as you pass each one, they whisper, not with words, but with feelings, a warmth in your chest, a soft ache in your eyes, a breath that pauses as if remembering something. One mirror shows a child sitting by a window, watching stars. Another shows a version of you curled up in a place you have never been, but deeply long to return to. You do not linger. You do not need to understand. You only witness, and are witnessed. The ring does not ask questions. It does not offer answers. It only reflects what you are ready to carry, and gently lets the rest fall away. As you move toward the edge of Lume, the mirrors begin to close round the blue light in the center, like petals folding in at dusk. The light pulses once, then fades, and the ship moves on. You are lighter again, like someone who has remembered and forgotten and remembered again only what was needed. Far beyond the whispering ring of Lume, a soft glow appears, like the ember of a thought warming in the dark. As your ship draws closer, you see it is structure not built, but formed. It floats in space like a sleeping lotus, its petals made of soft stone and glowing scrap. This is Calisatra, the library of unread stars. It doesn't orbit any sun. It shines with its own memory, and it breathes in quiet rhythms, like the chest of a being made entirely of silence and stories. The ship slows. Its door opens, not outward, but inward. You step into a space that feels endless and softly circular. Corridors of hovering books curve in all directions, like the spiral arms of a galaxy asleep. There is no dust here, no need for time, only shelves of glowing books, each one pulsing gently, as if alive. You walk between them slowly. Every book has a name, not written in letters, but in feeling. You reach out and touch one. It hums faintly, opens not with paper, but with light. Inside, a sky unfolds. Stars bloom across the air. You see a moment not from your past, but from someone's possible future. And yet, it feels like home. You close the book, not because it is finished, but because it has given you exactly what you needed, and nothing more. Further in, you find a reading chamber, walls made of mist and crystal, pillows of warmth and stardust. You lie down. The ceiling above you is not ceiling at all, but the dark between galaxies, and across it, Constellations drift, shifting into shapes you recognize, then forget, then recognize again. You do not read here. You remember, and as your eyes grow heavier, a final book floats gently toward you. Its title, and written, its pages, still forming, not to read because it's yours, but to dream. You close your eyes. The book closes with you, and the ship comes quietly to your side, ready to carry you to the final resting place among the stars. The ship moves more slowly now, not because of distance, but because of reverence. Ahead lies Noctis, the final horizon, a planet without light, without landmarks, a sphere of stillness floating beyond the edge of constellations. It does not shine, it does not speak, and yet it draws you in with a gravity you cannot see, the kind that calls not to your eyes, but to your soul. As you descend, the air becomes so quiet that even your thoughts begin to whisper. Then pause, then vanish. You step from the ship into a darkness that holds you, not as shadow, but as shelter. The ground beneath your feet is soft, like velvet warmed by a fire long ago. The sky above you is not black, it is deep, like the inside of a closed eye. In the center of this world is a still lake. You walk to it, guided only by breath. And when you arrive, you sit. Not because you are told, but because everything else inside you already has. The lake does not reflect light. It reflects feeling. You look into it and see calm. See the weight you no longer carry. See the stillness you forgot you had earned. Behind you, the ship waits. It does not hum. It does not glow. It simply rests as if it, too, is sleeping. You lie down by the ground shapes itself to your form. The sky cradles you in its silence. And somewhere in the distance, you feel it, the slowing of everything. The heartbeat of time itself, preparing to sleep. You close your eyes, and the darkness welcomes you. The ship lifts from Noctis in silence. You do not feel the motion, only the softness, only the stillness you now carry within. Thou knew the stars no longer rush by. They move like snowflakes drifting through ink. Each one passes with a blessing, not in words, but in sensation. From Aurialis, lightness in the chest. From Thalora, warmth in the bones. From Soleneth, quiet in the mind. From Virenai, grounding in the breath. From Lume, gentleness in the heart. From Calisatra, wonder behind the eyes. From Noctis, peace beneath it all. You are not the same. You are slower now, deeper, heavier, in the way a blanket is heavy when it calms you. The ship no longer leads. You drift together, side by side with your breath, with your body, with your sleep. Outside, the stars begin to fade, not away, but inward, gathering into the soft space just behind your eyes. You are returning, but not back to where you were. You are returning to rest, to yourself, to the place where dreams no longer ask questions. They simply wrap themselves round you like starlight and stay. No more planets, no more mirrors, only this dot, only now, only sleep. You floated far, across oceans of starlight, through gardens of light and echoing cities made of marble and thought. You've drifted through the whispering rings of memory, and rested beneath skies too ancient to name. But sometimes a dream doesn't end. It simply changes shape, and somewhere in that soft turning, your starship slows. You recognize the light outside, silver trees, deep mist, a forest where giants sleep beneath glowing leaves. You've been here before, but something is different now. The forest is waiting, not to show you, but to ask you. This is where your journey becomes something more. You are no longer a guest. You are being called. Tonight, you return to Virenai, and this time, you carry the stillness it has been waiting for. You awaken inside the ship, not with sound, but with a breath. A long, warm breath that doesn't come from you, but from far below. Outside your window, the familiar silver glow of Virenai begins to rise again, its endless forest bathed in pale mist, its branches stretching like soft fingers toward the star. But something is different this time. The stillness is heavier. The light moves slower, and the forest seems to exhale, not with rest, but with waiting. The ship lowers through the canopies. There is no need to speak. No voice greets you, but you feel it, the subtle tug in your chest, like a memory you never had, pulling you gently home. You step into the forest. The moss beneath your feet is warm, not hot, not cold. Just right, like the inside of a hand that's been waiting to hold yours. The silver trees, tall as sleeping mountains, do not move. But their breath is different now, slow, deeper. Almost listening. The sky is quiet, no birds, no wind. Only the faint hum of something beneath the roots, a rhythm, a pulse. You walk slowly, not because you're afraid, but because everything in you understands this place is sacred. You are not here to pass through. You are here to remember something, to awaken something, and somewhere ahead, within the folds of mist and moonlight, a single leaf begins to tremble. It begins not with a sound, but with a shimmer. A single leaf, silver and translucent, floats gently down from one of the tallest trees. It spins, slow and deliberate, as if searching for you. And it finds you. It lands not on the ground, but in your open hand. You don't remember opening your hand, but it's there, perfectly still, until the leaf touches your skin and begins to tremble. Not violently, not fearfully, but like something alive with quiet urgency, like a creature waking from a long, soft sleep. The leaf glows faintly. You watch as small lines appear along its surface, not veins, but runes. Tiny, shifting symbols made of light. They pulse once, twice, and then dissolve, sinking into your palm like warm breath. And you understand, not with your mind, but with something older inside you. You have been called, not by words, not by voice, but by the forest itself. You turn. The path behind you is gone, vanished into mist. But a new one opens before you, glowing faintly beneath the moss. A thread of silver light, leading deeper into the trees. The forest does not whisper, it waits. And you take your first step. The ground gently hums beneath your foot, a soft vibration that welcomes you. Not as a stranger, but as someone unexpected. The trembling leaf still rests in your palm, no longer shaking. Just warm, just still, just ready. And so are you. The silver-lit path leads you deeper, step by gentle step, into the oldest part of the forest. Here, the air is heavier, not with weight, but with memory. The trees are wider now, so tall you can't see where they end. Their trunks hum softly, like tuning forks resting just below sound. And then you feel it. Not ahead, not round, but beneath. A slow rhythm, a long, deep breath coming from within the earth. You follow it, past quiet pools that reflect no sky, past twisted roots glowing faintly beneath the moss, until you arrive at a clearing that doesn't seem to have been opened, but remembered. There, curled against the base of a tree as large as a mountain, lies a shape, massive, still. Not stone, not bark, something in between. It is a giant, not a beast, not a threat, but a being, ancient beyond time, asleep so deeply, the world round him has grown to protect his rest. You step closer. His face is peaceful. His chest rises and falls once every few minutes. His skin is etched with lines that shimmer softly, like stories carved into wood, fading gently with time. The leaf in your hand grows warmer. You kneel beside him, and slowly, you reach out, placing the leaf in the center of his chest. There is a pause, a stillness so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat echo through the moss. Then, the leaf dissolves, and the light from it sinks into the giant's skin. His chest rises higher. His eyes remain closed, but his fingers twitch. The earth hums louder. The trees round the clearing lean ever so slightly inward. And then, the giant exhales, a long, slow breath that flows over you like a wave of warmth, and he does not open his eyes. But he is awake, and he knows you're here. The forest holds its breath. Round you, the silver trees tilt inward like guardians listening to something sacred. The giant's chest rises again. His arms shift slowly from where they've rested for ages, sending ripples through the moss like quiet thunder. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. His presence speaks for him, a slow vibration in your bones, a pulse older than language. And then, without looking, he begins to move. First one foot, then the other, massive, silent, sure. You follow, instinctively. There is no fear, only wonder. With each step the giant takes, the ground ahead begins to change. Roots entangle. Mist curls into soft spirals. Stone steps rise gently from beneath the moss, not appearing, but returning. A trail that only exists when this giant walks it. You glance round and realize the forest behind you is fading. Not closing, not disappearing, but folding itself back into slumber. You are not meant to turn back now. You walk beside the giant's slow pace, his enormous form glowing faintly with the light of forgotten runes. With each step he takes, trees bend slightly to make way. The air grows warmer, thicker, heavier with something waiting. Soon, the path narrows into a corridor of trees wrapped in silver vines. The giant slows. He reaches out with one enormous hand and places it on a stone wall covered in lichen-dotted glows. Then melts into air, revealing and opening a circular gateway you never would have seen had he not awakened it. Beyond it, soft violet light, floating specks of memory, and a low, steady hum that vibrates through your ribs. The giant stops. He turns to you for the first time. His eyes do not open, but you feel them all the same, and without words, he gestures for you to enter. You step forward, into the grove where memory sleeps. The moment you step through the circular gateway, the air changes. It isn't colder or warmer, just heavier, as if thickened by the weight of ancient thoughts. This is the memory grove, a hollow of trees ranged in a perfect circle, their trunks smooth and silver blue, their branches rising like arches in a cathedral made not for worship, but for remembering. In the center of the grove floats a tree unlike the others, shorter, older, its bark dark as ink, its leaves glowing faintly like floating embers. And above you, hanging silently in the air, are hundreds, perhaps thousands, of glowing orbs. Some no bigger than raindrops, some the size of lanterns, each one pulsing slowly, like the breath of something long asleep. They drift gently through the space, trailing faint strands of silver light behind them. When one passes close to your hand, you feel a brief warmth on your palm, then a flicker of something you can't name. A memory not yours, not entirely, but familiar, like the echo of a dream you had as a child. The giant kneels behind you, still silent, watching. You step toward the central tree. At its base is a pool of light, liquid, glowing, perfectly still. And resting at the center of that pool is a single stone dot, smooth dot, dark, pulsing faintly with rhythm, a rhythm that matches the leaf that once trembled in your hand. You kneel before it. You know, somehow, that this stone holds a memory too long buried, one that the grove cannot release without your help. You place both hands round it. It is warm, heavy with time, and the moment your fingers curl round it, a sound fills the grove, soft, low, like a chord struck in the heart of the forest. All around you, the orbs of memory slow, hover, glow brighter. The trees breathe in, and you, dreamer, are no longer watching the memory. You are inside it. You are no longer kneeling. You are floating, not above the forest, but inside it. The memory surrounds you, not in images, but in sensation. The light is dim and soft, like twilight beneath. Everything pulses, the trees, the air, even your own breath, in slow, perfect harmony. You stand in a younger version of the grove. The silver trees are smaller. The central tree is blooming with light. And around it, beings made of starlight and bark move slowly, placing glowing stones into the earth, singing without sound. You understand now. This is when the forest began to dream, when the giants first lay down to sleep, trusting the memory keepers to hold time in place. But something went wrong. You see it clearly. One of the stones, meant to hold part of the song, was never placed. It was forgotten, or lost, or perhaps waiting for you. That stone is the one you now hold. You step forward toward the base of the tree. The beings do not stop you. They bow their heads slightly, as if they've been waiting for you for centuries. There's a hollow in the roots, shaped perfectly for what you carry. You kneel, place the stone inside, and the moment it touches the earth, the grove breathes in, all at once, deep and full, like a forest waking from a 1,000-year sleep. Light erupts from the roots, not brightly, but steadily, a wave of warmth and color that fills every branch, every leaf, every memory orb in the air. And you hear it, the song, the full, complete, slow-moving song of the forest. Not made of words, not made of notes, but of stillness. The sound of knowing exactly where you are, and exactly why. The memory fades, but the feeling remains. You return to your body, kneeling at the base of the central tree, the now silent stone warm in your hands. Behind you, the giant rises to his full height. The forest is whole again, and so are you. The light in the grove no longer pulses, it glows, soft, constant, whole. The silver trees are utterly still now, not frozen, but fulfilled. You stand, stone in hand, and feel the memory settle back into the earth, not vanishing, but the giant behind you exhaled again, a long, low breath that seems to reach the very sky. Then, something new, a sound, not loud, not clear, but unmistakable. A single note rising slowly from the forest floor, not from the trees, not from the giant, but from you. You're not singing, not with your mouth, but with your presence, with your stillness. The forest responds. The trees sway, just slightly. The mist glows. The orbs of memory above you begin to turn, slowly, gently, like planets resuming their orbit. The sound deepens. Other notes rise to meet yours, from the moss, the branches, the distant hills. A chord forms, one that hasn't been heard in 1,000 seasons. And within it, something unlocks. You feel it behind your ribs, a place you didn't know was tight, now softening. The song isn't meant to be remembered. It's meant to be felt. It wraps round you like a long-forgotten embrace. It doesn't ask anything. It doesn't try to teach. It simply says, you are here. You are part of this. And that is enough. The song fades, but the stillness it leaves behind is richer than silence. It is peace, not empty, but full. Full of presence, full of time, full of rest. The giant steps forward. He kneels, and from the glowing moss, he lifts a small object, a talisman of woven silver root and starlight. He places it in your hand. It hums once, in tune with your heart. A gift, then a remembering. The song is complete, and the forest dreams again. The grove dims, not into darkness, but into something quieter than light. The trees, once glowing, now rest in soft blue hues. The orbs of memory float upward, not vanishing, but returning home to their branches, like birds at the end of a long, quiet day. The giant lowers himself slowly, his movements no longer heavy, but graceful, as though gravity remembers him differently now. His eyes are still to you once more, but you feel them open within you. There are no words, no final command, no explanation, only a sense that everything you were meant to do is done. And in your hand, the talisman continues to glow faintly, not brightly, just enough to remind you that something ancient once placed trust in you, and still does. The giant reclines beside the ancient tree. He places one great hand over his chest, and the moss begins to wrap round his legs, his arms, his shoulders. The forest receives him again, as gently as the first time. You bow your head, not out of duty, but out of gratitude. And as the last of the glowing mist settles round him, you feel something deep within your chest go still, a stillness you've been looking for, perhaps your entire life. You turn. The silver path has returned, not the one you came by, but one shaped by the forest in this moment alone, just for you. It curves gently between trees, lit by the softest pulse of root light beneath your feet. You follow it, without hurry, without noise. The wind moves again, just a little, and carries with it a voice not spoken, but understood. You are part of the stillness now. The silver path winds gently through the forest, glowing just enough to guide you, but never rushing. The trees lean slightly above you, as if offering shelter, or a final blessing. The air is softer now, wider. It no longer hums. It listens. Each step you take feels quieter than the last, not because the forest has changed, but because you have. The moss beneath your feet welcomes you. It knows your shape now, your rhythm, your stillness. You pass through the outer trees, and just beyond the veil of silver vines, your starship waits. Not as it was, shiny, strange, unfamiliar, but familiar now. Like a room you once left and finally returned to, not as the same person, but as someone sovereign. The ship opens for you. You step inside. Its walls glow gently, matching the pulse of the talisman still resting in your hand. You place it near your heart and lie down on the bed of light and quiet. The ship lifts. The forest below fades into mist. Not gone, not lost, just asleep again. But part of you stays there, rooted in the stillness, curled beneath the dreaming trees, held in the rhythm of something ancient and true. And as you float upward through the velvet dark of space, your breath slows. Not to stop, but to rest. You are not just returning. You are carrying something now, not heavy, but whole. The peace of Virenai is yours. The sleep of giants is yours. And the silence between stars is where your next dream will begin. And now, dear traveler, you have drifted through galaxies that breathe, floated across stream planets that remember you, and walked beneath the branches of ancient giants who sleep with songs tucked beneath their roots. You have journeyed far, not through distance, but through stillness, from the stars to forest and back again, and perhaps now something inside you is quieter, softer, more whole. If these stories brought you peace tonight, if they held you gently or helped your thoughts fall silent for a while, please consider subscribing to Mystical Sleep Tale. Each time you do, you light a small lantern along the path, a quiet glow that helps the next dreamer find their way home. And when you're ready, the next story will be waiting, just beyond the edge of sleep, just where your breath begins to slow. With stardust and soft dreams, Mystical Sleep Tales.